Welcome to Moshville Times. I'm Louise and I'm delighted to be joined by John Mahon. Thank you, John, for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. What a great name as well, Moshville Times.
Yes. Yes, very excited. I'm so glad I get to interview you. You are a DJ on Kerrang Radio Monday to Friday, 10 a.m. till 1.
Oh,
And
great plug.
yeah, I put it in there. And John, at Moshville, we are all about music, metal music, gigs, festivals, passionate about new artists. So, John, you have something very exciting on the 4th of February. Do you want to tell us more?
I do. Yeah, I'm going to be releasing my debut single, which still feels weird to say. It still feels weird to say that I'm actually releasing a song. But yeah, the song is called You Got This. And I even got the name of the song tattooed
Oh,
on my arm, and it's in my mom's handwriting as well, which like
oh,
doubles as like a beautiful meaning. Because like the reason, like you only release what your first song once. That was my period of thinking. So I was like, may as well get it tattooed. And then I was like, well, where do I get it tattooed? I was thinking about it, and like when I'm out and about at like festivals and stuff, like people like come up and say, "Oh, love what you do. Can we get a photo?" So I thought it'd be cool not only to have like the name, because the song's quite positive anyway. Like you got this, but now when I have a photo, because I usually like point at people when I have the photo taken. So
yes.
like now from a distance, it says you got this. So it's almost like a motivational message, and it's from my mom as well. So
Oh, I love that. So anyone that gets a photo with you, technically your mum's in there as well.
yeah, 100%, she's
That's
there too.
brilliant. I love that. So, John, this is really exciting. First time ever releasing your own music. And I know that you have been working behind the scenes for about 7 years doing your own music, writing. So, why now? What made you think, okay, this is the time that I'm going to release it in 2025?
So yeah, I was supposed to debut this song at Download last year during my DJ set because it was ready to go. Like it hadn't been mastered, but it like the mix was done on it and it was like playable. And it was I put it towards the end of my set. And as it got to that moment in time, I've never had like imposter syndrome or like performance anxiety to that level before. I've had it a couple of times in my career, but like, as it got closer to that point in the set, like I was like getting short of breath, like lightheaded, felt like I was gonna like vomit and throw up. And like in the end, like I chickened out of it and didn't play it. And my only regret from that set was not playing the tune. And like I was bummed out, I was kicking myself about it. And then just before Christmas, Bowling for Soup reached out and asked if I would be up for supporting them as a DJ on their arena tour, which kicks off on the 5th of February. And I'm basically DJing like in between the bands. And I was like, do you know what? That's the perfect time to like debut a brand new song because I've never been on tour like that before as a performer, as a DJ. Like I've done it as a TM before in the past. Like I did one tour where like I was managing a band. Like we're going back like 15 years now, and like they were supporting minor self indulgence, and I was like TMing that tour, but I wasn't like part of the performance or anything like that. Whereas this is the first time I'm actually going to be on stage as a part of a tour, and I thought it'd be cool to go in there with something to bring to the table. So yeah, basically when that offer came in, I was like, right, I need to get my shit together and I need to actually release this song.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, that's really exciting, and we're super glad that you're releasing it now.
Thank you.
Can I ask, about the song when you were writing it, when you were creating it? At what point did you think this is special? This is it. This is going to be the one that I'm going to put out there.
That's a good question. So basically, I hadn't intended to kick off with this one. I'd actually planned to release another song first, which I think now is going to be the second song that I release. But that song's like really intense. Like it delves into like the dark side of like mental health and like a lot of the subsequent things that fall out from that. And basically, I was chatting to one of my best friends and my manager, Laura, and she was like, look, man, like people associate you with being like the positive, upbeat, happy guy. And if you come out with a song that is like that intense and depressing, I'm like, whoa, like, is John all right? So um, she was like, yeah, like cook something a little bit happier. So basically, off the back of that, I was like, I'd already been in the studio with my mate Tom, and we'd already put together a few songs. And then I was like, well, I like none of the songs we work on kind of fit that mold. So basically, like one year, it was around about Christmas time. He came over. This is like my home studio, and we sat in here. And like the first thing that actually happened was Tom like clapped like that to see what the acoustics were like. And he was like, "Oh, I love the acoustics in this room." So he recorded like that clap, and like those claps are actually in the song.
Oh,
And
wow.
then yeah, which is mad. And then Tom picked up one of my guitars, which is just sat over there in the corner, and was just like, "Right, okay, let's write a riff." And Tom's so talented. Like he's been in bands, he's been producing music for years, and he just like was fucking around with a couple of riffs, and then just went do do do. Do, 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 and I was like, "That's it." I was like, "That's the riff." So we basically built the song around that riff, and yeah, like the lyrical content came in, and when Tom was like, "Oh, so what's this song kind of about?" And then I was like just being you, like unapologetically you, having fun, like not letting people bring you down, and blah blah blah. And he was like, "Oh, so it's like not letting the bastards bring you down." And I was like, "Ooh, there's something in there." So we were like messing around with that as like a lyrical hook, and it just wasn't quite hitting hard enough. And then I was trying loads of different swear words. And in the end, I was like, "Don't let the motherfuckers bring you down." And I was like, "Oh, okay." I was like, "That's got a kick to it." And then that ended up being the main hook of the song. So yeah, it was out of the five songs I've written. That was actually this one was actually the last one that we wrote.
Amazing. Oh, cool. And so, talking about this song, what sort of musical influences can we expect, or what bands maybe inspired you with this sound in particular?
Good question, because I am a massive music nerd. So of course I'm gonna be drawing influences from absolutely everywhere. So when Tom wrote that riff, I was like, it it's it's quite a punky riff, like it, and I wanted the song to start like in a very minimal way, literally just guitar and a kick drum, just so it was just like it started like bare minimum. Like I wanted it to sort of like start with just the basics and then build to like this big sound at the end. So once we had that riff and we went into the first chorus, I was like, right, okay, so that's quite a chanty chorus, like electric callboy, like a chanty chorus. I was like, okay, cool, I'll pinch a bit of that. So like they come back in at the end of the song, and then there's only one verse in the song, and initially I think that was just like some like quite basicy kind of sounding power chords, and it sounded good, but I was like, it doesn't have like a bounce or a swing to it. And I'm a big Nickelback guy. I've loved Nickelback for years. Yeah, right. Right. So I was like, let's put a little bit of Nickelback influence in there. So like the riff and Burn It to the Ground, where it's like do diddly do diddly do, like that swing to it. I was like, okay,
Yeah.
I want a bit of that in there. So that's where like the melody and the riff came from. It was like we wanted it to like swing like Nickelback. And at the time as well, I was obsessed with Overkill by Motorhead,
Mhm.
and I was like, no one's really singing like Lemmy anymore. Like he has such a distinctive vocal tone, which was like heavy in its own right. Like Lemmy's voice could be singing over the top of like the most chill stuff, and it still sounds heavy and gritty. So I was like, right, okay, I wonder if I can do that. So like, I started like trying to like emulate sort of like Lemmy's tones and like his pitch and that kind of vibe. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. I think there's something in there as well. And like eventually we sort of like cooked this verse, which is like, yeah, sort of like a combination of Motorhead and Nickelback. And also I share a birthday with Lemmy. Like Lemmy was born on the 24th of December. So I was like, it's cool to pay tribute to the goat like that. And then the end of the song, like I did just want it to like just big anthemic like last end to the song. So yeah, like bring in some synthesizers. And yeah, like Electric Call Boys, We Got the Moves is like a very recognizable chant that duh, 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 duh. So I wanted like a chant like that where it's like, even if you don't know the words, you can pick it up just from that chant.
Yeah, amazing. And you mentioned there that you've written 5 songs in total. So in the future, can we expect to hear more releases from you?
You absolutely can. Yeah, I've set myself the aim of releasing all 5 songs that we've recorded this year. That's the aim. So, and like ideally, like I'd like at least at least three out by the summer. That's the aim. I mean, if I could get 4, that would be the dream. But like, I'd be happy if I could get 3 tunes out by the summer. And yeah, like the aim is to get all 5 out at some point this year.
Awesome. That's brilliant. It means we can look forward to that as well.
Hopefully.
Um, so finally, to wrap up, we spoke there about some sort of musical influences and your inspirations. If you were to collaborate with an artist for future music that you're going to write, John, Who would you want to get involved?
Oh,
I
there's
know,
so many potential answers for a question like this.
I know it's
I'll
awful.
limit myself to two. Like I would say 21 Pilots, but 21 Pilots don't collaborate. They've never done a collaboration with another. Although they did an EP with Mute Math, but like canonically in 21 Pilots lore, like it isn't really like a collaboration. So like as much as I would say Tyler Joseph, I'll rule that out because like the boys don't do those. But from the rock world, I'd probably say I mean, like the dream would be to work, yeah, alongside like the Bring Me the Horizon team, like Dan Lancaster, like the producer, is phenomenal at what he does, and obviously, like the way in which they produce sounds is just so ahead of its time. Like we're going to look back on Posthuman Next Gen and go, wow, that record really was like ahead of its time.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I know it's kind of a cliche answer, but like I just, like, especially with how much of like the dance side of stuff I love. I would have to throw Bring Me in there. But then from the dance world, my favorite producer, my goat, is Elenium. And I've flown to Vegas multiple times to see that man perform. Like I went to EDC last year just because he got announced on that lineup. And his last record, which was called, was it self-titled? I want to say it was self-titled. I think it was self-titled. But that had tons of rock features on it, like Spirit Box were on there. Motionless in White were on there. Avril Lavigne was on there. Jaden was on there. And he's a rock kid, like through and through. Like he grew up listening to rock and metal. Like he, at his SoFi Stadium show early last year, he did like a section of the show where he was playing guitar. Like he DJ'd for like the first half of the show or the first three quarters of the show, and then he just ended on a band set, and he was just playing guitar and like having the time of his life, playing like Linkin Park tunes and stuff like that. So if I ever got the opportunity to cook something with Elenium, like this would all be worthwhile.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, that's awesome. Well, listen, John, thank you so much for joining Moshville Times, and we wish you all the best of luck. Well, you won't need it because everybody
Uh,
needs it.
I do need it. Trust me, I need it. I need all the looking I can get, but I
Well, we
appreciate
give
it.
you the Moshville Times look. But yeah, everyone, check it out. This is going to be an amazing year for you, John, and we can't wait to hear this song in particular, but also your other releases in the future. So thanks so much.
Awesome. Thank you for a fantastic interview as well, Louise. Like, yeah, I was just saying to you, it's weird being on the other side of the fence on these, but like, you absolutely smashed it. So, yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. Thanks so much.